What's up, guys? It's Blair here with the Outdoor Movement, and as you know, haven't been putting out as many fishing videos this year, and it's for good reason. We moved into my childhood home, which is now our new house. It's on the water here. Haven't had time to utilize the water that much. They've only been fishing a handful of times so far this year. Just got tons of projects to try to get this place back to where it needs to be, with some pretty heavy lifting projects. So today's project that I thought would be great video falls in line with like the homesteading and do-it-yourself kind of stuff. Today we're tackling this giant horse pasture and putting in a new split rail fence. I don't have enough materials to finish it, but I got enough to do this whole side right here in the first rail, and then I'll go back and install the other rails. But we can go through all the different pieces of this puzzle and show you how it's installed, and then we'll get to the putting the top rails on it another time, or maybe I'll do one section with just that. But thought this is a great way, cheap fencing, easy way to fence something in. This fence, you know, holds in horses. You could put anything behind it you want. If you want to put like dogs or something in a fence, you could do a split rail fence and wire it, put wire along the front of it or whatnot. So really useful fence, really easy to install, labor intensive, but no more labor intensive than any other fence. None of them are easy. So I'll get started here, and I'll give you a rundown of how we do this, at least how I do this. And I'll give you the fair disclaimer that this is my first time ever installing a split rail fence. I've helped my dad as a kid maintain this thing, but he did it all the old-fashioned way with post hole diggers and all that nonsense, and there's no way in hell I'm post hole digging over 100 holes. So let's get at it. All right, so we'll go over the tools that you're going to need to do this. It's blazing hot. It's end of July. It's probably close to 100 degrees today. Get yourself a big brimmed hat. Get yourself a sweat rag that's been cooled in the freezer or fridge. Get yourself some, stay hydrated. That's half Gatorade, half water. You're going to need spray paint. You're obviously going to need your split rail posts and your fence pickets. Okay. And you can see I've already got about 9 of these done today. Been working on it for about an hour and a half. It's going faster than I thought. All right, so the first order of business before you even start putting posts in the ground is you got to make sure you're going to have a nice straight fence. So you can see this old fence has some crooks in it, and it's not straight. You know, it's old, and some of them could be because they're leaning this way or that way. But if you look down that fence, there's a big dip in the middle of it that kind of hooks out. So what I did was I came off the driveway and I put a nail in the existing fence. I bought a whole spool for 30 bucks of this twine from Tractor Supply. You tie it off here, you go to the other end, you tie it off, and you pull your line tight, and you follow that line. That will keep your fence nice and straight for you. If you don't use that and you're like, oh, I can eyeball it, you can't eyeball it. By the time you get about 10 down, you're gonna set one off center, and the whole thing's gonna look wonky when you look down it. All right, so once you've pulled your string, you're gonna go back behind it. Now, mind you, the string's not centered right now because it's around behind these posts. But what I did was, while it was centered, I hit the ground with spray paint right on top of it. And you can see I marked my post. Now, you don't wanna dig all your holes for your post at one time, because with a split rail fence, sometimes you got to work them a little left or a little right to get these posts to line up in there. If you just drill all the holes, I guarantee by the time you get about 20 down the row, you're going to be off. So just drill one at a time. And when I say drill, this is the tool behind all the magic. Do not try to do this with post hole diggers unless you're a caveman. I bought this Prorun 6-inch auger. It's the perfect size. These posts are 6 inches wide. I bought this auger, comes with the bit, everything you need to drill these holes, for $220 from Tractor Supply. I have already got my $220 out of this thing just in the first 10 holes. I mean, it is a lifesaver. It takes 2 seconds to blaze one of these holes. I'll show you that in a minute. So we've marked all our posts, or marked where the posts are going to go. And that's just hindsight, you know, like if you need, as you work your way down, I'll show you, you know, we may shift left or right, but it gives you a point of reference to know what is centered so that your fence looks pretty. And when you look down this fence right now, it is so straight that you can almost look straight through all the holes right down that fence. And so that's how you know you're keeping it real straight. All right, this part, I debated on whether to tell y'all about this because in today's day and age it's probably controversial, but this is an old timer trick, and it works, and it's not bad for the environment. Salt treated lumber, pressure treated lumber, used to be salt treated. It is no longer salt treated. It is treated with a plethora of chemicals. None of them are probably good for you. There's copper, there's arsenic, there's all kinds of stuff in it to make this stuff not rot. So a little bit of extra funk on there, in my opinion, is just a little bit more funk. It's I'm not even, don't even care. But an old time farmer that I know from up in the country told me, you know, I saw he had a split rail fence. I said, how old is that fence? He said, over 50 years old. I said, damn. Every time I've seen one, you know, the last about 25 years we're replacing posts. He said, I'll tell you the secret. This is the secret right here, guys, the secret sauce. That is 80% diesel fuel, 20% used motor oil. The diesel fuel thins it out and allows it to penetrate the wood. The oil soaks in with that diesel fuel into the wood. It's dry by the time I even get back to the post to put it in the ground, so it's not leaching out into the soil. And what it does is it repels water, and it will make your fence post last a hell of a lot longer. So what I do is I load it into a cheapo sprayer can, one of these guys, pump it up, and you just coat it down. Give it a shake, make sure you mix the oil in because it will settle out. And then we just, and I mean, if you're an environmentalist and you're watching this channel, my bad, but it works. And this little bit of extra time and maintenance, you're only doing what's going to be in the ground and just a hair up from it. This little bit of maintenance is going to make these posts last at least 10 years more, if not 20, if not 30. So you tell me, is it worse to put more treated lumber in the ground and let more of that chemical leach out, or coat these things down, let them eat, dry out, and then put those in the ground? But that's the secret, guys. That right there will make these posts last so much longer. Oh, brief pause here in the video to just admire that beautiful seaplane. That's my buddy. Sam, he flies out of Legacy Marina, man. He comes right over the house every day. I love it. I think it's the coolest thing in the world. He's going to touch down the creek behind the house, man, but sorry. Squirrel. All right, so we're gonna go down. I'll do about 5 of these at a time, and I start letting them dry out, and then I'll get to drilling a couple holes and showing you how you line these pickets up and everything and how you make this work. So split rail comes in 2 different sizes, 3-hole and 2-hole that I'm aware of. 3-hole, 2-hole. The holes are distanced the same amount apart. The only thing you get is the extra height of another post. And in this case with horses, we've never had, well, once we did have a horse jump out years ago when I was a kid, but for the most part these horses don't jump out. And this one actually has a little piece of electric wire here in case, you know, they get near it and try to lean on it. But in our situation now, you won't even need the electric wire. So you can see I've already been rocking and rolling along on this. Got these guys all dug out. We're going to start on this next one right here. So we got our spray paint mark, but we're not going to drill that hole yet. We're going to line this post up, and what it does is it interlocks right in here. So let's set that post off to the side as much as possible. Let's look at this guy, and you're going to have to trim these little burrs off. When they cut these things, they don't do a great job. So I'm actually going to take a hatchet, and we're just going to knock these off. Handy dandy hatchet. Bust off those, because you want this thing to be pretty skinny to fit further up in here, because that's the amount of play that you get on either end to slide this thing in one end and then back the other way. All right, now we're going to drill this hole. All right, so you've laid your post out, line it up with your pole, your fence railing up with your post. Make sure that it lines up to where you want it to be. So that looks like it's got plenty of overhang. That should come all the way back into here. Come down to this end, and this is why you wait to drill the holes. See how the hole's a little too far left? We're gonna go the same distance out so we keep a straight line, but we're actually gonna step over a hair so that we know that the post is gonna land right in here. A little bit of this will stick through, but not much. So that's what we're gonna do next. All right, the tool of choice right here, guys. This thing is super easy. Starts first try every time. I love it. We're gonna grab this guy. Run it. All right, we're looking at our post here. We're lining it up. Give yourself a look down the line here. Looking straight. Looking good. That's all there is to it. That is how quickly you can drill these holes. You always want to go a little deeper than you think, because you can kick some dirt back in this hole and fill it in easy. But I found that I was going back and back and back with the auger. It just didn't make a lot of sense. To save time, you drill it deeper, kick some dirt in the hole. You can set it exactly where you need to height wise to match the rest of your poles. All right, so we've set our pole in the hole, and it's a hair too short. Needs to come up a little bit. All you do, kick some dirt in the hole, wiggle it all down in there, kick some more in there, and then pick up on your post, just set it back in the hole, and that's it. Each time you do that, it'll raise it up however much dirt you kick in the hole. That is looking much better on the height from those two poles. I'm actually going to bring it up just a hair more, but yeah, that's dead even. All right, when they cut the ends of these things, they get lazy. They're different shapes every time. Some are real fat on the ends, and that makes it tough to get two posts in there. So what I've been doing is just knocking some of this high spot off. You can just take a hatchet. There's other tools you can use, but I just found a hatchet was working well for me. Just narrow up your post a little bit, and it'll fit a lot easier. You get more play. You can slide it left and right a little better. Sometimes these are going to be tight, so you're going to take this thing, we're going to slide one end down here, and then work it back this way. You can see we got way too much overhang in here, right? But that's no big deal because it's barely in right here. So you work it in, and you can see the thing fits all the way in there. It's sticking all the way through the other side. You definitely want it to overhang out the other side. And we still got a little more room, and we can always tap on the end of this to work it back that way a little tighter if you want. All right, well, that's all there is to it, guys. That's how you lay a post hole fence. And like I said, super universal fence right now, 2025, and these posts are about $17 for a post. I'm sorry, $15 for a post, $17 for a picket, for the fence rail. I found that Home Depot was $2 cheaper than Lowe's. So if you have a Home Depot near you, I recommend going to Home Depot. They even gave me a 10% discount yesterday because I bought so many of them. So if you buy them by the pallet, sometimes you get a discount as well. So, but that's all there is to it. I'm gonna get back to work before I turn into a lizard, sweating more than I'm drinking. And it's a hot day out here, and I still got a long ways to go before I'm done for the day. You can see whole fence all the way around this place. And thanks for watching. Appreciate you. If you like this video, leave a comment. If you don't like this video, hey, still leave a comment. And we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, notification bell, all that good stuff. We'll see you on the next adventure, hopefully on the water somewhere where it's a lot cooler and I can take a dip.